Hello everyone, this is Amythyss and welcome to this new build. This build is basically very particular. This is um, this build. Well, let's start with this. This build started as a little bit of a challenge project because I wanted to build something very primitive, very EA, like very primitive, very EA. So basically, this build is not as advanced as my other builds, and I still hope that you guys like it. To be honest, yeah. Also, this build took about 1 hour, so it's a fine build. I would say I still managed to make it look pretty decent, although I had to fight with it quite a bit. I gotta be honest. And yeah, basically, this build is intended to be like a beach house. Like, yeah, basically, it's a beach house. It's well, I think that it is very modern, but not as modern as my previous build. And yeah, as you may have just noticed, it is right in front of the ocean. So yeah, it is exactly a beach house. And yeah, and basically it is like what do I say? Okay, basically the first thing I did with this house was pull down some floor because I had hoped that I could manage to get it all flat, but apparently not enough for the foundation to continue all around. So I decided, you know what? Sorry, not foundation, the platform. So basically, I decided, you know what? Let's just have the platform halfway through, and the rest I will just make something else. And here I'm basically trying to find out a good texture for the roof because I wanted something nice, but I didn't want something too dark either. I also did not want something too contemporary, and so on. So I settled for something like this, which I guess it was okay. Also, oh my god, I I fight so much with these windows. Like I I fight so incredibly much with trying to get these windows into a decent place and also a nice looking place. It actually ended up being quite a nightmare. I'm gonna be honest, because this build is very rectangular. This build is basically a rectangle attached to another rectangle. That's about it. So it is a little bit complicated to make it look um, well, to make it look nice. I would say, like, to make it look like it is actually something more advanced than it really is, if it makes sense. But I guess that I managed to break up the shape with this little bump out. And yeah, basically to break it further, I decided, you know what, let's also add a little bit of a curved wall here. Because like otherwise it's really too geometric, way too squarey. And yes, I like a squarey, but in this case, it really didn't work. I didn't have the space to add the more squarey details, so I basically had to break out the squariness. Otherwise, it really looked like just a few boxes merged together anyway. And yeah, here I basically settled already with a lot of the windows, basically. Because yes, I did not place all the windows, but at this point I already knew where I wanted most of the windows and pretty much the entire shape. And hated the I so hated the fact that I had to put the two ones. Well, Did you size one windows so close together or ultimately break the shape? So I decided, let's just do it, suck it up, it's fine anyway. And yeah, by the way, if you noticed the swimming pool, I decided to actually, like most swimming pools, I guess in the Sims are directly in the ground and don't really have some floor around it, especially not wooden floor. But in this case, I decided, you know what, it actually may look very cozy. Like, I decided that a way to keep this house a little bit grounded was to use a little bit of wood somewhere. Like, I thought that pretty much using a little bit of wood would maintain the coziness of the house and would actually make it look well more grounded. I would say, as in like better. And yeah, here basically I decided, you know what? I don't use fireplaces almost at all, and I wanted so much to have a fireplace in this house. So I decided, let's just put a fireplace there. And oh my god, here I wanted to put a parking lot. And I was like, no, this parking spot goes way too far into the house. So initially I thought, what if I just make it into like a solarium of some kind? But it looked horrible. I just couldn't look at it. Like the the ceiling, not the ceiling, the roof not being glass and me not being able to put the windows uh, in the wall below the roof. Yeah, I didn't like it. So I decided, let's try to put something different. And yeah, here I basically decided, let's just put the same thing I had before. And here I decided also to put to already put some hedges because, as I said, this house I wanted to make something very The Sims, very very simple. And I thought, you know what, these had quite a lot of detail actually. So I decided, let's just do it. And yeah, basically here I wanted, you know what, let's add some flooring. Initially I wanted to make something like not straight, but it looked very much like forest cottage and like, okay, cozy, but this is a little bit too much for my liking. Like, yes, cozy, but we are not forest cozy. And yeah, basically I decided to turn this room into a tool shed. Now, I think that the Sims may hate these rooms because, like, I think that they cannot pathfind to this room, but they still will try. I hope not, however. And if that is the case, the solution is simple. Just add a wall, pardon me, just add a door on the back and move some furniture around. It should be fine, I think. And here I decided, you know what? This is a tool shed. Let's just have some cheap antiquated lights, and this will be pretty fine. And so yeah, basically that is what I put. Just some antiquated cheap lights. And yeah, here I'm basically deciding to how to separate the rooms. And I felt so stupid in this case because like I completely forgot that in some way you needed to reach that room, and you just cannot go through the massive kitchen to go to the dining room. And most importantly, you should not go through the kitchen to go to the bedroom. So the answer was basically okay, let's add a few rooms instead in between so that I can probably make something better out of it. As in something, by something better, I mean something that makes much more sense. Although, I'm gonna be honest, here I did a bit of a mistake because I that room in middle is going to end up like a bathroom, and I'm not sure how much sense it makes to have the bathroom connected to the kitchen. Like, I guess that I end up making it work because the kitchen is yes, the kitchen is a big room, and yes, technically you go through the kitchen, but the kitchen area is way smaller, and you will probably notice what I mean once I get to that. And yeah, here I'm trying. Okay, I wanted to have a open floor, and I decided for this look, which in retrospective is okay. Like it's not great, it is just fine and acceptable. Like what I mean is, it's not great. If it were in real life, I would probably ignore it. Like barely notice that there is one there and that I can look out on both windows. But I guess that it ends up being pretty decent. So yeah, in this case, I was still thinking about making the second floor like a complete studio. So like have another bedroom upstairs and also a studio. But I'm gonna be honest, I ended up really disliking the idea of having a studio upstairs. Like, the house is already way too big, there is no need for a studio. And here I'm finally getting to the bathroom. This bathroom is so elegant. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this bathroom is very black and incredibly elegant. I actually use the same tricks from um, I believe that it was my first build, which is just use the wall marble, make it very elegant and just very dark. It will look elegant, it will look amazing, it will look, well, I would say expensive is the right term. And yeah, basically, like, it's a good way to tell this house is modern, this house is very rich, I think. Another thing that I absolutely adore in houses is having the large mirrors. Like the large full wall mirrors, I absolutely love doing it. I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, basically here I'm starting to fight with where do I put the towels? Because like of course a bathroom needs towels, so where do I put the towels? But I ended up finding a pretty solid place, I would say. It's maybe not very realistic, but I would say it's pretty okay. It's fine. And yeah, yeah, I basically decided, you know what, I'm gonna deal with this um, without a studio because I liked the idea of having um, I liked having the idea of the dining room without a ceiling, so a very tall ceiling dining room. I just really loved the idea. And here you can quickly notice what I meant when I said I guess that the kitchen is very big as a room, but the kitchen area is not very big. And yeah, basically this is where I'm interrupting the kitchen area. So like the kitchen area is very small, and the kitchen is very big. I I don't know why I decided to make it very big, to be honest. Like I guess it made sense, but like I have no idea why I decided to leave that large empty space. But I believe actually, yeah, never mind. I believe that actually later on I found a way to make it work. I believe. I don't actually remember, but either way, it doesn't look that empty with the extra chairs. Like, it really doesn't look too empty at this point. And indeed, at this point, I decided, you know what, that empty space is actually great. Like, it really, I think that it really is a good idea to have that empty space. And here I decided to have the table, which I'm gonna be honest, I was thinking about adding chairs to the other side as well, but I was like, I don't think anyone would like to sit so close to a fireplace. Like, okay, that there is some glass in between, so you probably don't catch fire, but like, about that. And yeah, here I'm basically starting to add some more decoration to this dining room. And also, I struggle so much in this build with the wall texture. The wall texture in this build is a nightmare to deal with because a lot of walls actually have some bump in or bump out. No, that is the wrong term. Uh, well, they have a little bit of a top and bottom detail, and that top and bottom detail completely breaks the effect if you have a two-story room, like in this case. And indeed, as you can notice, I'm trying my best um, to find something that works, basically, because the detail looks quite bad there in the middle. And yeah, the hard part of this build is also the lighting. I had to use a lot of floor lights because I was unable to use the ceiling lights because a lot of the rooms, well, some rooms actually have a tall ceiling. Therefore, I couldn't place any window, well, any light, as in any, um, how do we say it, any ceiling lights, yeah. Here I'm basically already deciding to make this. Um, well, it's really a TV area. At this point, I already decided I wanted to make a TV area, and oh my word, I struggled so much with making this. Like, I couldn't get the right size in. But in the end, I managed to make something nice. And remember, people, this looks like I managed just fine pretty quickly, but this build is sped up 300%, so it took me three times the time that you are seeing. And it was quite a long time actually. And yeah, here I'm basically trying to find a way to fill up this space that is essentially dead. And I was like, okay, what if I put a carpet here? And it didn't look great. At this point, I decided, you know what, let's just use the old trick of just placing some floor and accepting it. Here I basically try to put some columns, and the reason for that is that in my mind it made more sense to have those columns than without. Like, it's a big room, And I thought, you know what? It's a big room. I think it is a good idea to have a column in the middle. I don't think that in real life such a large room would be able to keep up a roof. And now, probably we have some materials that nowadays that could, but I wanted to make something very yay. And I think that EA would have used some columns in this case. But even then, I think that they look just fine, honestly. Like, this space otherwise I think would look way too empty. And here I'm deciding to add yet more lights. Because, yeah, again, I cannot use ceiling lights, so, well, I need to find a way. And I believe that now I move to this room. So, this room is a little bit, I guess, weird because initially speaking, I wanted to make something like a feminine room, like something for a woman. But I ended up upstairs doing something of another bedroom that I aimed to have like for kids. So basically, I ended up with a kids' bedroom and a very feminine master bedroom, and it I think that it looks a little bit silly if you think of it as a full family. However, I like to think of it as a um, as a house populated by a single mother. And by the way, yes, it's just an excuse, of course, but it is a good excuse. I'm gonna be honest. Like, just have a single mother, and the room instantly makes sense. Here I decided, you know what? It is a it is actually a um, house in front of the sea. So I wanted to have some light blue. I wanted to have some sea themes a little bit into it, and I absolutely love how this room turned out. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yes, it turned out a little bit weird and maybe overly feminine, but it actually looks very nice. Like, what I'm trying to say is, if you completely ignore the fact that this is a master bedroom, so probably for two parents, this build actually looks very nice. And I mean, this room is, yeah, I think this room is cozy. I'm gonna be honest, this room is probably as cozy as you can get. At least, yeah, it's probably the coziest I've done in a while, I think. And yeah, here I'm basically deciding it again at last moment. For some reason, I remember to add some clutter for the kitchen as well. And here is where this room actually gets overly feminine. Like, it's not so much about everything, more like the fact, like, this is where the room gets overly feminine. And yeah, here I basically decided to go for this swimming pool, and I personally think that this room looks well. Sorry, not room. I personally think that I did a spectacular job with the swimming pool. Like, it is very simple, yet I think that it is so cozy. Like, it looks so cozy. Although I admit that here I'm trying to add more stuff to the swimming pool because I wanted to add a little bit more detail. And in the end, I end up not adding much of details, to be honest. Like the only details that I add is a very small garden area here near the swimming pool, and then afterwards just some lights. And it actually turns out to look quite fine. I'm gonna be honest. Like what I mean to say is, I actually did not need to add more details than this. Like now, with the lights in a small garden, this is actually very nicely decorated. So here I decided to go on the top floor, and the top floor, I'm gonna be honest, is the moment where I was, I guess, a little bit bored. Like, not exactly bored, but more out of ideas. I was like, okay, I have this massive space, and I have absolutely no idea what to add. And I end up making it work anyway, because I mean, I have been building on the Sims for quite some time, so in the end, I end up finding out a decent way to make this place look decent. Like, and what this room is basically meant to be is quite simply a reading room. Like the point of this room is quite simply just reading while enjoying a pretty decent view. Consider it like a semi-private library, I guess. I I guess that you can also add a little bit more to this room. I certainly left it a little bit on the empty side, but for a build that is meant to be inspired by the A, I think this build is quite fine. Like quite close to what EA would actually do, I think. And finally, we move to what is the the last room. Now, I decided here also to take care of the walls because, again, I hate the idea that those walls have the detail in the middle. It's not the best solution to just have a flat wall, but it is the best I could think of. And here I'm finally deciding um, to add the yeah to my apologies for the brain fart. I basically decided to get started on the last room. This room is essentially meant to be a kid's bedroom, a two kids bedroom, and I absolutely love this detail of putting a glass wall in the middle. Like I think in this case maybe it divides it a little too much, but honestly I think that it is acceptable. Like it's probably not the best, but it's also quite honestly the best I could do. At least I think it is the best I could do. Like what I'm trying to say is there weren't many good ways to divide this, so here is how I can divide it. And I believe, yeah, now we are going to get on the ceiling. If I remember correctly, this is where I forget to add the lights on the ceiling, I believe. Like, I don't remember what it is, but I remember that I forgot to add. Also, it's not a ceiling, it's a roof. I believe I forgot to add the lights to this roof, and also here I fixed it later off camera, which you will probably see in this screenshot, I believe. I think, actually, probably not. And here I decided to add the finishing touches to outside. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. I had no idea what to do with this large, very cozy garden, but I settled for just a few flowers. And apparently a few lights that I completely forgot about. And yeah, honestly, in retrospective, I dislike how empty the entire gardens are, like the greenery around. But I think that it is fine. And here's the build.